let us get started. Madeline you just told me it too. Madeline
Almalee.
Almalee. I don't know what it is, but I have this distinct gift in my life for butchering names and butchering the English language. Like, so I'm a pastor preacher, and like I just make up words. I just make up. I don't have correct grammar. I hold a doctorate. I don't know how that happened. So, but
fake it till you make it, right?
What's that?
Fake it till you make it.
Oh, it's so fake. I mean, it's just so. Yeah, if you're a stickler for the English language, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. Well, let me just go ahead and say thank you for dropping by again, because you were the very first, when we started this little project, this initiative, you were the very first person who I didn't know. I said, hey, would you like to come on this little podcast? I think you look at the studio now, they can't see it on here, but like, it's like, it's kind of a little bit professional, wouldn't you say?
It's beautiful, absolutely.
It looks organized. When you first got here, there was like no sitting room. There was a piano in the middle of the little space, and like you're like, yeah, let's do this. And so
I was ecstatic when you asked me to be on a podcast. I was like, I'm gonna be on a podcast. Like, is this real?
And you crushed it. I mean, we had like, I wish we had that original audio or the original form, because it was so amazing. And so, like, let me just set up too. Like, because you were my first one, it took like 6 times for me to figure out how to use these things, because otherwise they were just props. And to say, oh, let's get an external hard drive to keep all the footage.
I have yet to figure that out as a photographer.
My goodness.
I'm so bad. I just have everything saved on my computer, and my computer runs.
Wait, what kind of computer do you use?
Oh, God, I don't know.
You don't know what computer you use?
It's a Windows laptop. That's all I can tell you. I'm not techie. The way you are with grammar is the way I am with tech.
I just had I got a brand new computer for this little project, and like, day one it crashed because I have no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there
Beautiful.
with you. Well, thank you for dropping by and reshooting and just taking the time. So let's just kind of set this up. Actually, we're gonna cut this out. If you could you close the window? I'm a big guy, like it hot or like it cold. Now we're gonna hear the train.
Oh, so you don't want to hear the sirens?
No, I don't want to hear the sirens. I don't want to hear the Amtrak, the freight train. So you came by the church. The way we actually kind of got to know you was through something called Feast of Plenty, where we serve 1,500 people in the community a free Thanksgiving meal. And like the week before, I had this thought. I said, maybe let's do something that's not an iPhone and like capture this with not an iPhone. And we asked you, and you just knocked it out of the park.
Thank you so much.
I mean, it was like all of our volunteers loved you. The St. Louis Blues, Junior Blues, you were a highlight there. You crushed it. You crushed. Do you have any memories of Feast of Plenty?
Oh yeah.
What are your memories of Feast of Plenty?
Well, like you mean before this?
Anything, yeah. Impressions by that?
It was incredible. Just like seeing how quickly, once everyone was there, y'all lined up, they got the food out, and it was so organized and amazing the way that everyone worked together to do it. Yeah. Also, just people from all different walks of life. Like, it was crazy. There was, the Junior Blues that are younger than I am. There's friends that I have that are around my age. There was older people who were there. There was, people from different backgrounds and different ethnicities. And it was beautiful, especially now with the way things can be lately. It's just.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean.
I want you to flesh that out.
There can definitely be a lot of hate in the world. And it was really nice to see everyone working together regardless of everything.
You know what I remember from last time? You're really diplomatic with your words. And I don't mean that as a slight in any way, because I think everybody is different in the way they respond to things. And part of the podcast world is pulling at these threads and you answered that very beautifully. I think you might want to think about a career in public service, because that was a really good answer, honestly.
Thank you.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, and let me tell you the 17 reasons why I think this. And so I have to learn that diplomacy. So for such a young age, that's really, really beautiful, actually, that you know that.
I have for a very long time. I've always felt like I don't want to ever offend or hurt or upset or anything like that with my words, because they're so powerful and it can so easily go south. And I mean, especially in moments where, you know, if it's, they always talk about in relationships, especially like if it's the last time you see this person, is that going to be what you want these words to be? And so that's something that is always in the back of my mind. I never want to hurt someone or anything like that with the way that I say something. Words
do carry such a powerful weight in our journey.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Robin Hood, Shakespeare, right over here. Well, you know, when you first came on, we were doing these little hot takes, and those are good for like little clips, and it is what it is. And I think you were like, water's not dry, or water is not wet. Water's not wet. And we went back and forth. But I like to kind of start in a different way, because I want to. You're a photographer. We talked about downtown, but we're going to kind of let this be a new experience. I do want to get to the photography, but kind of the way I like to start us off is by playing a game called Water Buffalo. You good with that?
Yeah, sure.
Basically, I'd like to ask, what's going well in your world? What is maybe something that you're carrying a lament or maybe a lower water moment? And what are you curious about?
Oh boy. As far as going well, I have found myself over the last year or so, over the last couple of years, surrounded by some of the most incredible people that I have ever met in my entire life. I have some of the best friendships right now. I have some of the most talented people around me right now.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, Tony. I am basking in your glory. I own a nice house with 7 acres. I've got goats.
Whoa. Pause this for one moment. I did not realize you were out there in the country.
Yep. I mean,
you got the rag on, like the whatever that's called.
I'm obsessed with this thing. I thrifted it for like $3, and it's the best.
So you're doing the whole like green acres thing.
Yep. We've got goats. We're thinking about getting chickens.
Do you have like baby goats where you can like they just freeze and then fall over?
So they're a little over a year old, so they're full grown. But they do faint every once in a while. It has to be a very specific type of scared. Like sometimes super loud noises won't bother him at all. Yeah. One time, one of them was chasing the other. He got cornered and just passed out. It is hysterical. Yes. So
I feel like I'd spend a lot of time trying to make my goats faint.
We literally spent like 20 minutes yesterday.
That's good. So you're surrounded by friends. Adult friendship is such a unique thing.
It's crazy.
Nobody prepares you for that. And you're a young mom, correct?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Wanting to be soon. But
but in your younger season, I would say you're that in between college and the next chapter. Like that's a unique thing to find adult friendships.
Yeah.
And people you can count on, people you can be vulnerable with, people you can grow with.
One of my biggest thing has been like truly being able to be myself in my most authentic way. And I mean, some of the friendships that I have right now, I could come to them in a trash can and they'd be like, yeah, sure, let's go. What are we doing? Why do we have a trash can? Why are we wearing it? I meant trash bag, but trash can works too.
Trash can works.
They're kind of there for whatever, and they love me regardless, and I am so thankful.
Have you had a season where you haven't had those close friendships?
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I mean, a lot of it was friendships that I thought were, going to be there for the rest of my life that very quickly turned otherwise for various reasons. And so, definitely.
As a kind of a loner, independent kind of, I'm acquaintances with like 1 million people, but friends I have a very small few. Do you ever find yourself envious of people who seem to have like just catalogs of friends? I've gone back and forth on my feelings on that.
Sometimes, especially if I'm having a little bit of a harder moment. But like you said, I feel like it is usually more so that people have lots of people that they are friends with. But a lot of the times in those situations, they don't have one person that they can truly count on regardless.
That's
And I
true.
feel like that is way more special and way more powerful than having, gaggles of friends. So, I mean, there's some Robin Williams, there's a quote by him. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of like being in a room full of people and still feeling alone.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people that I know. Like I can't go anywhere in town without seeing somebody that I know.
Okay, slay girl.
It's between theater, photography, my different jobs that I've had, the different schools that I went to when I was younger. Like they're everywhere. But I am more thankful for the few people that I have in my back pocket that are with me all the time. So
That's rich. So you got friends. You've got 7 acres.
Yep.
You've got you're doing the farming life. You're doing this. Just it seems like things are going really well. So what might be something that you hold that is not going well that you're willing to share?
honestly, photography has been a little bit of a struggle lately.
Okay.
I feel like since I have gone full time with it, I am more dependent on it, and
Okay.
I need that income more, and so I'm actively looking for people more.
Okay.
And I feel like the moment I'm actively looking for people, everyone's like, sorry, I'm busy. Sorry, I can't. They don't, whether it's funds or time or the cold. And, especially with the holidays that just happened. And, everyone has either, is still recovering from spending too much money around the holiday season, or the cold. It limits your time and your space and your availability to do pictures. And I definitely had a bit of a lull during the holiday season, and I have a lot that's coming up, but currently I'm just like, I'm trying to get more, trying to work with more people, trying to get out there more. And it's a lot harder than it looks because, kudos to Zach.
Well, so we'll go straight into the photography because that you kind of gave a beautiful segue for it. But I guess one of the questions I would have, I want to get to how you became. How it became a love for you, but something you just said. When you go full time for something that is artistic and a joy for you, but now it is income for you, how does that change the relationship you have with this thing that was a joy for this season of your life in this chapter now that it's your business?
It can definitely make it a little bit harder sometimes. Because it's one of those that, if you have your slump where you're not feeling as creatively motivated, or, just not feeling that joy and passion for it, you hit this kind of rut and you don't want to do anything. You don't want to book things. You don't want to go to the session. You're like, I love these people dearly and I'm so excited to work with them. But at the same time, I have no drive right now to do the photography. And if you're doing it just on the side for fun, whatever, then you can say, hey, I'm so sorry, but I can't book this session with you right now. I need to wait just a little bit. Or, you can maybe set the camera down for a little while and take a break. And I've gone through different time periods like that where I haven't done photography for months at a time. And so now with it being full time, it adds a little bit more onto it of like, you have to do this even if you're not necessarily really wanting to. But on the flip side, it's wonderful because I feel like creatively, those are the moments that you really grow as an artist. Like the moments they always say.
Why do you think that is? Name that moment and like when you have to work through a plateau?
Yes, yeah. So like with writing like as a parallel here, writing, they say for writers that you should sit down and write for an hour a day, regardless of whether you want to or not, regardless of whether you have that idea in your brain. So whenever you're doing photography, if there's something that is making you go do it, even in those moments that you really don't want to or don't feel like you have the creative drive for it, those can sometimes be the moments that like you shift your perspective on things, or you find out something new, or you learn something new, or you gain a great client that is with you then for years because you showed up and did it regardless. You may get some of the most beautiful pictures you've ever done in that moment.
Do you feel like when you are in a plateau, so I'm kind of like a, I don't know, hippy dippy pastor, I guess, but like this idea that like the energy that comes from you then transmitting into the work, do you feel that like that sometimes comes out in your work. It does with my sermons sometimes. I preface it with my sermon. It's like if I'm really struggling, either it creates this fire sermon where like I'm just fighting against that plateau, or I lean into it and like my wife falls asleep in the sermon. So I don't know. In photography, what is that like?
I feel like for me personally, it usually does more of like what you were saying with like the fire. It kind of like, so like if I'm meeting with a new client, you kind of put on face for somebody like that. It's your customer service per se. And so I feel like in that moment, like even if I'm not feeling it, I still want to give this client the best that they can get. Like they're paying me to be here and to capture these memories for them. So I wouldn't want my own personal things to affect that. So I feel like it makes me like have to like flip the switch inside of me of like, okay, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be great. We're here. We're rocking and rolling. It's beautiful outside. Let's just do this kind of a thing. So I feel like it definitely kind of makes me want to do better. And I do just kind of like push it aside. You're here in this moment. This is not regular Madeline. This is photographer Madeline. And we're gonna do the best that we can and give them the pictures that they're hoping for.
So what do you do for your life that fills your cup then? If this is your business and you're like, hey, this can be a drain, seasonal stuff can happen. One of the things you named why people might not get photos like in the new year, sister, that's when we're all on a weight journey, man. I have been, I've started so many diets at January and in January like 7th, but like the shame of that I feel, I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting them done until March
I
for
ate
sure.
so many cookies.
Because it's like New Year's, then you got anyways.
Oh yeah.
But like, what are you doing to fill your cup creatively to keep you in that space?
Honestly, I dabble in like every type of art. I love to paint. I recently, my birthday was in the middle of January, and we had like a little paint party at my house.
When's your birthday?
January 14th.
I'm the 28th.
Hey, okay.
Oh.
So we did like a PJ paint party at my house. So like everyone
What is
wore
a
their
PJ?
pajamas.
Like where you pajama?
Yeah,
Okay.
and we had like bagels and coffee and like mini donuts that were like birthday cake themed, and it was beautiful. And we all just like sat down with our canvases and painted, and I loved it. It was amazing. So like painting, I love to do. I write, I draw, theater in particular, like. Yeah. During the off season, I didn't do anything at the Hoagland this year, so I didn't have anything going on like in the winter. But we've got Muni auditions here in like 2 weeks, and
what's the Muni show gonna be?
So we've got Mamma Mia, All Shook Up, Prince of Egypt, Frozen, and then Lion King Jr. They're doing a 5th one this year for the first time, and it's a junior show, so that's going to be awesome. Frozen is going to be amazing, and I would love to audition for it, but I am not wearing a coat on the Muni stage in the middle of August.
No.
Nope, not doing it. So Prince of Egypt is the one that I'm specifically auditioning for. It's directed by one of my good friends, Wes Bridges. He's directing it, and I'm auditioning. And yeah, so that'll be a wonderful way to spend my summer. But theater in particular is such a joy for me.
Kind of a Renaissance person. You kind of dabble in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And what would you tell yourself when you first launched as a young entrepreneur, starting your business? That was what, 5 months ago?
Yeah.
About 5 months ago?
Yeah, it was.
What would you tell yourself 5 months ago? Like, what have you learned? What would you tell yourself?
I think to not be so focused on perfection, especially with like the photography itself, being able to learn new things and know that this is my first time trying this, or I've only done this style or this type or whatever a couple of times, and to do it anyway, and to not get so worked up and like, is this going to turn out how I want it to? Because some of the most fun things can come from things like that. So and to lean into other photographers around here. Like there's so many incredible photographers in this area. It's insane. And so like looking at their work, talking with them, what fuels their passion. I almost said fashion. What fuels their passions, what fuels their creativity. That's one of my favorite things about like Zach and I's friendship, is being able to go to him and be like, hey, wouldn't this be awesome? Or like, look at this place, look at this, photo shoot. How do you think they did it? Blah, blah, blah. Like we love nerding out about photography.
Well, it's funny that you named that, because the reason we've even had a professional relationship was because of that collaboration with Zach. He specifically said, hey, you are starting a business, and we reached out to you. So that, I think that's really interesting, that for young entrepreneurs to lean into that collaboration. You can feel like everything, you got to fight everyone, and you got to safeguard your territory, but it can be a beautiful thing when you collaborate.
So the reason I met Zach, and I will never forget this. Okay, so 2023-ish, I had just looked into starting a job at Heartland Housed down here.
That's right, Josh.
Yes, yeah. So they published a article about homelessness in Springfield and Sangamon County, and there was pictures in the article that were taken by Zach. And I will never forget looking at these pictures and just feeling so, like, all of the emotion in them. And I was just blown away. And it, had the little copyright 1221 photography, and I was like, oh my gosh. Literally, probably a week later, a friend of mine messaged me. Her and a couple photographers were meeting up at Washington Park, and they were, a whole bunch of them were meeting up, and we had a whole bunch of models coming. And
you didn't ask me.
I didn't know you at the time, Tony. I'm so sorry. Next time, I will make sure to invite you. And
I have a corner on the plus size fashion model industry. I'm just kidding.
Now you got the whole corner to yourself.
That's funny. That's funny.
So I had only about a couple months prior to this lost one of my best friends to cancer. And so Tori, one of the other photographers in town, she knew this, and she was kind of like, hey, why don't you come out, meet with us, hang out for a little bit. It's beautiful outside. It was like beginning of May. It was amazing. So I ended up going, and I got there, and she was like, Zach Adams is here. And I was like, what? Like the Zach, like 1221 photography Zach Adams? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, you got to make sure to work with him. And so I waited until like almost everyone had, moved around and whatever. And I noticed that he didn't have anyone to work with. And I was kind of like, oh gosh, okay. And I like went up and I was like, hey, are you working with anyone? And he's like, no, you want to go take some pictures? And I was like, yeah. After that, we like scheduled another shoot out at the lake. And now
is that the winter
later,
one? Was that?
No, this was, we did one out at Lake Springfield a couple, years ago. We've done several since then. Almost every summer I've done a lake shoot with him, and I plan on doing another one this summer, so heads up, Zach. But so looking back on it now, I think it's so funny. I told him, I was like, I was borderline fangirling at the fact that I got to work with the Zach Adams. And I don't even remember where I was going with this, except for Zach's an incredible photographer. Oh, like community. And just, he has become such a wonderful connection personally and with photography. And he's amazing.
So kind of diving more into the photography, not so much your business, remind me the story of how your dad impacted you with photography.
So my dad actually went to school for photography, and he and one of his best friends had a studio in Detroit for years when I was super little. And so he has always had a just major love for it, and especially like the technicalities of it, because I mean he was in dark rooms like developing his own pictures and everything, which is wild. I have not gotten that far into it.
You're grasping for words, but that's such a unique thing that you would work in a dark room and develop them, and I don't know what that. I have to really sit with the word to find the words to name it, but I think there's something very.
It's like intimate almost, and like personal with these photos, because I mean, you're not only with a digital camera, especially, or like DSLR ones, like you can put it on auto, and you can just have it do the work for you. You don't necessarily have to know the exposure settings and the lighting and the depth and all of that. So you can use that, and as long as you have your composition correct, you can still take a beautiful picture.
Right.
And it can be so easy. Whereas like before, whenever you're using film, A, you didn't know what that picture looked
That's
like until it
right.
was developed.
That's right.
And B, like you personally had to measure everything and like get it set up and, overexpose or underexpose for shadows and highlights. And yeah, it's wild.
Did he do that professionally, or
Yes.
he did that professionally?
Yeah, so he has, like I said, he worked at the studio for a while.
right,
He's
that's
done optomic photography, which is like the back of your eyeballs whenever
What?
people are, so whenever people are going in for like surgery for like cataracts or something
Yeah.
like that, or like looking in for like different anomalies with like your health of your eyes and things like that, he would take the picture. They're wild. It's so cool. Look up optomic photography later.
Does he have a photo that like he treasures of that?
Probably.
Because the eyeballs are really interesting.
They're
organ
so
or muscle,
crazy.
whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah. Tissue?
It's something. Whatever it is. It's just like
This thing. It's crazy.
wow.
Yeah, so, and he did crime scene photography for a while in Detroit.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I told him that was what I wanted to do, and he's like, no, you don't. And I was
Do you
like,
listen
yes,
to all
I
the
do.
crime
He's
scene,
like, no, you
crime podcasts?
don't. Oh, yeah.
But you would never take the crime scene photos?
I would like to think that I can, because
I'd
I'm
bail
relatively
out.
good under, like, stressful situations and things like that. But I feel like the nightmares that I would have after the fact.
Oh, that would traumatize me for sure. I would not be able to compartmentalize that.
I will never forget. I was listening to a true crime podcast regularly for years.
Yeah.
And this one time period in particular, I was working at HSHS and I was an admin. So like while I'm sitting there doing whatever, had my podcast going in my ears. It was great. Well, one day I was sitting there and I made a face as one of my executives was walking by and he was like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm listening to this podcast and the dude used the person's femur to fix his fence." And he was like, "Okay." So like the next day I went in and he in particular I talked to a lot about like really random bizarre dreams that I had because he
Yeah.
also was like, he had weird dreams all the time. So I went in and I was telling him about this dream that I had. I don't even remember the specifics of it, but it had something to do with like serial killer and it was their ghost was haunting me or something along those lines. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it, but I was telling him about it and he was like, Madeline, do you ever think that maybe the obnoxious amount of true crime that you listen to is somewhat connected to these serial killer dreams that you're having? And I was like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds so.
Probably.
Now, did your dad walk with you as you learned photography?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I told him that I was going full time with my photography, he looked at me and he was like, "Well, it's about damn time."
That's right. That's
I was
right.
like, yeah, fair enough. So he was very excited, and he all the time will help me with like different techniques and like the technical aspect of it, or like composition on pictures. And I'll send him pictures, and he'll be like, "This is a great picture. Next time, maybe look at it this way, or think about this, or things like that." So he never like tears down my photography or anything like that.
Right.
He's been nothing but supportive with it, but he definitely helps me look at it from a different perspective and see some of the things that like I maybe wouldn't have thought of before.
Man, what a blessing to have a dad that is a fan and a true help in this world.
Oh yeah. No, he's wonderful.
That I hope you find yourself very cherishing that, because that's not everyone's story.
Honestly, both of my parents are some of the most incredible people that I've ever
Really?
met. Oh yeah. My mom is my best friend. Like we literally these pants, shirt, and my little bandana thing here are all thrifted because my mom and I go thrifting almost every Friday.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, no, it's wonderful. And so yeah, no, my relationship with my parents is another thing that I am so incredibly blessed
Yeah.
about. Like it's insane because I know that not everyone has that relationship or has that. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So going to photography for this 2026, what do you got on the lineup? Because I really want to highlight, you did such a great job for the church. I want to, and when this comes out, we'll share those pictures, repost them, because they were so wonderful. So I guess the question would be, as you look to 2026, what are you working on? What are you hoping for?
Oh gosh.
That you want to share?
I have, I think, 5 weddings booked now, which while for a like full-time wedding photographer isn't
Yeah.
a lot, that's about the like normal amount that I've booked
Okay.
and like already for this year. So I'm kind of
Okay.
hoping to, get a couple more added on there throughout the year. I have, I think, 4 or 5 different conferences for the Illinois Bankers Association that I'm photographing. I've got a couple of headshots, a couple of 5K events that I'm going to be covering. So yeah, there's a lot of events coming up that I'm really excited about.
That's awesome.
The 5Ks in particular, the Girls on the Run 5K was the
You're
one.
gonna do the Girls on the Run again?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, good.
That was the one I was photographing whenever you messaged me, and it was crazy because it was such a wonderful atmosphere at the finish line.
Yeah.
And then you had messaged me about, photographing this for the church, and it's a volunteer thing, and they're helping the community, and I was like, I'm gonna cry. There's so much just like good right now in this moment in my little bubble, and that was just wild. So yeah.
I think for anybody who's looking to hire you, what I would say, I did not feel an air of pretentiousness with you. I felt like you were very plugged in. I mean, you had never really been to our church before. You didn't really know, you kind of knew, but you didn't know what was going on. But you came with such an open hand and like a complementarian spirit to the process. And so I would just say, whoever is looking to hire you, I hope that I know from what I know about you, you would do the same thing going to their events. But
Thank you.
that was our story with you. So
Thank you.
we're excited to see what goes on with you in 2026 and beyond. And so we're just so happy that we have a new partnership with you. So
Thank you, me too. You're gonna make me
thank you for dropping by again. I appreciate that. And
I love
this
it.
time the microphones do work, so we are good. Yes. Thanks for dropping by, Maddie.
Thank you.